Hello, audio friends. Matt Vanacoro with AskAudio, checking out the TC Electronic Master X HD native plugin with hardware controller bundle. This little thing is pretty awesome. The TC Electronic Master X HD is a multiband dynamics processor plugin with a dedicated USB control surface. The processor itself has compression, expansion, and limiting for each individual band of the multiband. You've got customized presets from notable producers and engineers, and of course the plugin itself runs as a VST plugin, AAU, or AAX native, so it's a native plugin. Now the hardware controller, which is the version that I reviewed that comes bundled with the hardware controller, has 8 buttons and 2 knobs. So the buttons are discreetly labeled. It's not a generic controller. This is really meant to feel like a very specific individualized piece of hardware. There's a small text display with multiple level meters as well. The buttons themselves have a satisfying click when you press them, and there's a nice little LED on each one to let you know what section you're working on, which selection. The plugin itself is well organized and very sleek, with the buttons and knobs feel very connected with instant feedback both on the screen of the controller and on the plugin itself with the visual elements. Those visual elements of the plugin are color-coded, so it's easy to navigate. You've got this green expander section, a blue compressor section, a yellow limiter section, so really easy to kind of jump around and see what each part is doing to your various bands. There are pre-configured dynamic curves. Those are highly configurable and very usable. I found that this amount of precision control on a source really allowed you to address the problem spots of dynamics without actually hearing massive amounts of compression when you didn't want to. So I thought that was pretty neat. The response graphs located at the top make it very easy to see the stages of each band and the gain reduction being applied at each stage. So I dug that as well. The plugin itself is side chainable, and soft clipping can be used to give it a real analog feel. Overall, I thought that this system does an excellent job of making you feel like you're using a piece of hardware. Many of my mastering engineer friends like hardware precision control as opposed to the mouse or keyboard, and this allows you to keep a clear desk and control parameters precisely and easily. If you go to a lot of mastering studios, they're really zen places. There's not a lot of clutter, not a lot of stuff messing around that you don't need, so the ability to make those adjustments and keep your eyes on the screen can be really nice. The plugin is great to use on individual sources, I found, as well as for the mastering chain. My own personal favorite, using it on a lead vocal in particular, gave me some really precise control and the ability to clamp down on dynamic issues in a really transparent way. My only last thing would be if they offered a wireless version, I'd buy it in a second. Of course, then you'd probably always be charging the battery, but it uses a regular USB micro to standard USB cable. Of course, you can get one that goes to USB-C if you want. You can plug it into a hub and it works just fine. So having this on the desk really simplifies things. You can make adjustments to it without having the plugin itself GUI up on the screen, and it's really great. It definitely feels like you're using a piece of hardware with the TC Electronic Master X HD native bundle. So it might be a mouthful to say, but it's definitely a fun handful to use. Worth checking out. I'm Matt from AskAudio, and thanks for checking it out with me today.